If you like what I do, consider joining my channel or donating to my coffee. Links in the description.
Joke's on you, I'm into that shit.
I didn't know this going in, but Sealed Byte Extended is called Extended because it's a beefed up version of the original Sealed Byte released on itch.io. But more importantly, I didn't know Sealed Byte Extended was a Microvania you can complete in a little over an hour on a casual playthrough. Though my footage is 2 hours long, so I guess it doesn't count all the deaths and restarts against these bosses. Anyway, I'm always down for a good Microvania. A quick fix of Metroidvania-induced dopamine without a huge time commitment. It's refreshing. So, what's Sealed Byte Extended all about? You play as Amelia, a girl whose family keeps mysteriously disappearing. Once she's all alone, she finally takes off to figure out what the heck is going on. Then she gets bit by a wolf spirit and becomes a werewolf. Oops. With her newly acquired powers, she's tasked with finding 3 crystals that'll free an imprisoned spirit who promises to help her find her family. Is Sealed Byte Extended an adventure worth sinking your teeth into? Or will this bite-sized snack leave you hungry for more?
Combat.
In Sealed Byte, Amelia doesn't have a sword or a whip or a club or an axe. Nope. Instead, Amelia uses her own body and literally slams herself into opponents. But it's not an instantaneous attack. You press and hold the attack button to slow down time, which activates this circle around Amelia. And any jabronis in that radius are fair game for a werewolf body slam. Amelia hurls herself into the enemy, resulting in their death and a boost in speed and/or height, depending on the angle in which you hurl yourself at the enemy. These body slams can be chained to multiple enemies, given you have the stamina, and it feels quite nice to pull off a multi-kill chain to reach new heights. You can also attack projectiles in this way, adding a bit of defense to your repertoire. And Lord knows you need something to help defend yourself against these bullet hell-esque boss battles. I found the bosses in Sealed Byte to be pretty dang tough, but I thought they were cleverly designed and fair. The biggest issue you'll have against them is the fact that you have 0 iframes in this game, even upon taking damage. Typically, taking a hit in games provides you a moment of invincibility so players can gather their bearings. This is not so in Sealed Byte, and it becomes painfully apparent during these boss battles. Bosses tend to send clusters of bullets at you. You can attack these bullets to get past them safely, but not if they're in clusters. You'll bust right through a bullet and right into the bullet behind it, and with no iframes upon taking damage, the rest of the cluster will finish the job. It's frustrating, but it doesn't make the game impossible. It's really just a matter of understanding the boss's patterns and manipulating enemy fire to create your own openings. It's not always easy, especially when you throw stamina management into the mix, but it's doable and very satisfying when you pull it off and finally take the boss down. That's it for combat. Sealed Byte's combat is unconventional, demanding, and occasionally maddening, but when it clicks, it really clicks. Amelia's body slam mechanics create a fast, kinetic rhythm that shines brightest in its toughest encounters, even if the lack of iframes can turn clustered bullet patterns into instant regret. Still, once you learn how to read bosses, carve openings, and chain slams with intention, the game delivers a challenging but rewarding loop that feels uniquely its own.
Abilities. Platforming.
As you've probably gathered, Amelia's body slam attack doubles as a traversal maneuver. Slamming into enemies head-on can help Amelia leap over gaps and can provide much-needed bursts of speed during escape sequences. And hitting enemies from below can send our little werewolf girl soaring into the air so she can reach platforms and hidden goodies. She eventually gets a wall jump and a double jump, which do exactly what you think they do. But despite their familiarity, they undoubtedly add a lot to expand the game's movement. Amelia's general movement feels pretty great. Chaining body slams is tough but rewarding, and the moment-to-moment platforming is spot on for a game that focuses mainly on platforming. There are some platforming sections in the final biomes that'll have you clutching your controller and cursing, so you know it's good. And of course, each biome has its gimmicks, like ice being slippery and ghosts! And each gimmick is a refreshing challenge. Overall, the platforming is pretty dang fun, and I cannot wait to see the shenanigans speedrunners are going to pull off in the near future. As for puzzles, this is a Microvania, so puzzle solving rarely gets highlighted. There are doors that require keystones, and finding keystones requires some light exploration at most. Nothing mind-blowing, but an effective way to guide and block players. That's it for this section. Amelia's movement kit is a whole lot of fun thanks to its understanding of platforming fundamentals and the fun body slam mechanic. Chaining body slams into jumps, double jumps, and wall kicks feels fluid and expressive, and each biome's gimmicks add just enough spice to keep things fresh without derailing the core platforming. Even the light puzzle elements do their job, simple, unobtrusive, and effective at blocking and guiding your path. It all comes together into a tight, fast, and surprisingly varied traversal experience that's fun to master.
Progression.
Being a Microvania, progression is rarely the focus in terms of character expression or stat enhancements. However, Sealed Bite manages to pull off an XP system regardless, and I have to show respect. Every time you kill an enemy, you collect bright blue stuff that go toward an empty heart in the top left corner. Once you fill that heart with the light blue energy, you increase your maximum hearts, or HP. You can also find blue energy caches hidden throughout the world. More interestingly, you can find hidden medicine that increases certain aspects. Each bottle allows you to choose one of 2 enhancements, and those enhancements can range from increasing your stamina bar, increasing your stamina recovery, or increasing your attack radius. It's a fun and easy way to add impactful build variety to a relatively short experience. And that's going to be it for progression. No currency, no shops, no side quests, no gear. All commonplace for a Microvania. But the XP system and medicine bottles that allow for build variety? Now that's nice to see in a subgenre of a subgenre.
Exploration.
Exploration is another aspect that takes a hit in Microvanias. Not that Metroidvania type exploration doesn't exist in Microvanias. Microvanias just aren't designed to be as in-depth, interconnected, or intricate as their more robust, full-featured cousins. Microvania maps tend to be more condensed, linear, and oftentimes rarely circle back into biomes in interesting ways. And that's the case with Sealed Bite. This less involved exploration format is almost necessary to create an effective Microvania, given that Microvanias are meant to be fast-paced and digested quickly, and traditional Metroidvania exploration is the opposite of that. That's not to say Sealed Bite's world isn't rewarding to explore. While you'll mainly be moving forward to your next objective, many secret alcoves and false walls with treasures are hidden along your path, so keen observation still pays off while providing those dopamine hits we love. The in-game map is serviceable. It's blocky with very little details and no means of pinning it yourself, but it wasn't a concern, at least not for me. Your objectives and keystone doors were automatically tracked on the map, and that was more than helpful. There's no fast travel, another common Microvania feature, or lack thereof, but with a world so small, it wasn't an issue. My only complaint, and it's less of a complaint and more of wishful thinking, is that I would have liked a feature that helped me find things I had missed along the way. Mainly the medicine bottles. It's not a big deal, but being able to see my completion percentage by biome in the in-game map would have been nice. And that's it for exploration. Sealed Bite's exploration may be lighter and more streamlined than a full Metroidvania, but it still delivers enough secrets, shortcuts, and hidden goodies to make poking around worthwhile. The compact world, simple map, and lack of fast travel all fit the Microvania philosophy of keeping things quick and focused, even if that means the exploration never reaches the depth or intricacy of larger genre entries. And while a few extra tools for tracking missed items would have been welcome, the overall loop remains satisfying. A tight, fast-paced adventure where curiosity is rewarded just enough to keep you looking behind every wall without ever slowing the game's momentum.
Atmosphere. Narrative.
You ever find a piece of media and you're like, this is a summer jam, or This movie's great for Halloween. To me, Sealed Bite is an autumn game. Just look at the trees. They scream, play me during the fall. I do this with a few games. I like replaying Castlevania games in October, Momodora Moonlit Farewell when I want something cozy, and Yoku's Island Express and Wonder Boy in the Cursed Kingdom in the spring. I love it when a game embodies a season or emotion, and to me, Sealed Bite feels like a quintessential title to play while the leaves fall outside my window. Obviously, this is subjective, but you get the point. Anyway, I think it's obvious I love this game's atmosphere, and its presentation is pretty sweet too. I love the chunky pixel sprites and the bouncy animations. Sealed Bite also has a slick water reflection and ripple effect, often used to provide hints to hidden areas. And the music is pretty good. I loved the first biome's track and legitimately headbanged to the final boss's track. There are only a few tracks given the game's length, but what's here is pretty great. As for the narrative, it's simple, short, and sweet. Typical for a Microvania. Though the plot is easy to follow and a bit shallow, it's not bad. And I'd like to give kudos for how the game uses game mechanics and cause and effect to make some cool show-don't-tell moments, like how the first boss will help you escape as repayment for releasing them from a spell, and all the cool things the wind spirits do to help you out. It's little things like that that make for good world building, and it's much appreciated. That's it for this section. Sealed Bite's atmosphere ties everything together, wrapping its chunky sprites, warm autumn palette, and punchy soundtrack into a world that just feels good to inhabit. It may be a short, simple Microvania, but its cozy seasonal vibe, clever visual touches, and small moments of wordless or near-wordless storytelling give it a charm well beyond its size. Between the crisp presentation, memorable music, and thoughtful little bits of world building, it's an experience that lingers, one that feels right at home as the leaves start to fall.
Final thoughts and score.
Sealed Bite Extended is a tight, stylish Microvania that doesn't overstay its welcome. Its body slam-driven combat is quirky, demanding, and occasionally frustrating due to the lack of iframes when taking damage. But it delivers a uniquely satisfying flow once you learn its rhythms. The platforming is the real hook. Fast, expressive, and packed with clever gimmicks and set pieces that keep things fresh from start to finish. It's short, focused, and confidently crafted. A small game that leaves a big impression. I award Sealed Bite Extended an 8 out of 10. Sealed Bite Extended is available on PC. I played it exclusively on the Steam Deck with 0 issues, and therefore give it a Steam Deck rating of verified.
Pair placement.
Microvanias are tough to compare to full-fledged Metroidvanias. By design, Microvanias can't really focus on the aspects that make Metroidvanias so great, like nonlinearity and deep exploration. Microvanias need to be short and to the point, while maintaining a sense of momentum and progression if they want to scratch that Metroidvania itch. Sealed Bite Extended does a pretty good job of that. Combat and platforming is fun and challenging, and gradually uncovering the map and finding hidden nuggets is always a delight. And the fact that it even has a progression system that facilitates build diversity is impressive in my book. Sealed Bite Extended slams itself right into the B tier. I always get excited when I discover a new, good Microvania, and Sealed Bite Extended will definitely please Microvania fans and hardcore Metroidvaniers alike. This game gets my seal of approval.